Apparently, we're in excellent condition with YouTube, but then it does that thing again. Ha! You know that we're truly live when we make those kinds of complaints.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not pre-recorded live. Looks like we're there.
Yeah, we
Okay,
are.
and we're kind of at those 4 minutes, so let's
Yeah, we're there.
let's start that timer.
It felt like we were on time.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe even early.
But this
For
is the
those...
thing. Like, I didn't
Yeah.
have those windows up, and then we were not on time.
Yeah. I know. Like we... So everyone, welcome to the pre-show banter. We were sitting here, and it was probably, I don't know, 10 minutes ago, whatever it was, and
Mm-hmm.
we're like, okay. And I said, maybe, are we ready already? What?
Yeah,
It felt like we were ready too early.
yeah. Because
You
it's
know, you
been a
get that
little while.
feeling. It's like that feeling when you're in the car and you're about 2 hours away from your house on a road trip, and you go, did I
There's,
forget something?
yeah, that can happen.
So
I,
that's what that was felt.
I feel like that with going live and having a pre checklist of what should I be doing, what have I got open, what haven't I got open. Yes, I can see we're live. That's good. I've got notes open. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Timer, yeah. Daniel, yeah. Check.
If you need, if that's the, if I'm there.
You're on
If not,
you're on
it's
the
fine.
pre-live
It's
checklist. You are.
okay.
Do I remember how to push go? Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple of minutes to go. Just what were your thoughts on this thing on the background here on my whiteboard about the life cycle of chat for Teams meetings?
Yeah, it has gotten different recently. Um, I feel like we've regressed or something because I've been in several meetings where I haven't been able to chat. That used to be a thing way back when. It was now it's supposed to work now. And I guess some of it was because it was a meeting in a channel, but yeah, I felt like the chat has kind of it needs to work, and people need it to work. In fact, I was in a meeting today. I was logged in. Yeah, I think it was a channel meeting. I was logged in, and chat was not available. I'm like, I don't know.
And, and that's the very place I feel that it should be working because
Right.
it's not like you're going out and anywhere. And if it's within your own environment and it's your own tenant, was that what it was?
Yeah, I was logged into the tenant. It was the home tenant,
Oh, their home
and
tenant. You're a guest?
no, it's my tenant, home tenant.
Right. Hmm.
And I'm logged in. Go to my calendar. I join the meeting from my calendar, and no chat.
So the problem has shifted to our own house now. Our own house is not in order, people. Yeah,
Now
no,
the meeting
I
was in the browser, but
yeah,
that shouldn't matter.
no, it shouldn't. See, I'm finding it's when you have a private meeting set and it's with guests and you kind of want to do it like you can with email. You can continue that conversation. You can have a chat beforehand to say, hey, has everyone got everything in order? If you got any other items for the agenda or whatever. And that was the beauty of the life cycle of, remember this phrase? Before, during, and after the meeting. And it was the phrase tied to a lot of features in Teams.
Yeah, most certainly. You want that.
Yeah,
You want to
yeah.
have that carrying on the conversation before, so you can prep for the meeting, have it during the meeting, and then afterwards do follow up.
Well, I think we're at time. We have Phil and Tonya with us. That's excellent. So, let's run it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the 365 Message Center Show. Although some people may say that message differently,
Come
Inside
on.
joke for Daryl there. This is episode 229, and we are back. We're here, and we're going to rock your world with some amazing messages in Microsoft 365.
Admins unite.
Rock on!
Shall we do a stage dive?
No, we should not.
No.
You can. I will film it.
Never works with virtual audiences.
I don't know why they don't catch you.
Yeah.
So everyone, we hope you are having a great week so far. It is February 14th for us in the U.S. and various parts of the world. For some, it's the 15th. But happy Valentine's Day for those that recognize that as some sort of holiday or something. Hope you are
Get my pink on, shouldn't I?
Great day.
You should have pink lights on, Daniel, because it's.
I have.
Let's
I have
go
red
with.
lights. Did you not even pay attention? I feel like you weren't paying attention to me.
Oh, wasn't paying attention.
Everyone, make sure that you give us a thumbs up, and if you're watching on YouTube, we'd love to see that so others can see it. It helps others find the show. Give us a like, give us a follow, subscribe, and for those in YouTube, make sure you click that bell. This time you're going to do it with your hip, because your hips don't lie. You're going to nudge it with your hips, Shakira, and you're going to hit that bell so you get a reminder of when we go live. All right. I'm sorry I mentioned it now. Daryl's dancing. I'm sorry I mentioned that now.
Yeah, and you dropped that one on me. I wasn't expecting that bad of a pun, but.
Whoa.
Whoa.
So, everyone did not come to hear us, talk and babble along. About
No, and we've got a lot to get through.
We do. So, let's jump right in, if we may.
We may.
The first one is Forms Distribution and Email Notification Feature, MC320691. And this one is about Microsoft Forms. So those that are in Microsoft 365, I hope you've discovered this service. It's fantastic. We've talked about it on the show many times. Microsoft Forms is awesome. Well, now Microsoft Forms is going to give you the capability to share your form via email to your users and to a distribution list in your organization. But that doesn't stop there. So you're going to have this capability. It's coming mid-March. Expected to be rolled out by mid-April, but that's not all. So you're going to be able to share the form via email rather than having to take the link and email it or whatever. But it's also going to periodically send you an email saying, here are your numbers for your form. Numbers of people filled it out. As well as on that email, there's going to be a button to send reminder email to those people that you sent the email to. So being able to give a little push to those people to say, hey, you need to fill out the form. Now, the only kind of weird thing here, or not weird thing, I just don't know how this will work, Daryl, is with a distribution list. Is this how does it know who has filled it in and who hasn't? Is it just going to send an email to everybody? Or just to the people who didn't fill it in? But if it's a distribution list, how in the world would it know? I just don't know. But anyway, you like this?
Well, and anything that's helping you to monitor and drive responses to the form is good. That's really what we're trying to do, trying to get some information. Like your distribution lists. I mean, maybe it'll extrapolate who's in there and
we can wish.
Make a record of that.
We can wish that it would do that. Yes.
No. Good feature, though.
Indeed. So I'd like it's just a quick mention, really. It's a cool feature. I think a lot of people are going to use it. So give it a try when it rolls out to your tenant. I'm really interested in this next message that you're going to be covering and how we can use tags better in our organization and teams.
Well, it's an updating message. So it feels like we've had it before. In fact, yes, it was published on the 1st of February, then updated on the 1st of February.
Yes.
So when they say updated, they mean that they published it the same day they realized they needed to put some more detail in it. Yeah, it's updating default tenant level tag management settings, MC320163. Tags in Microsoft Teams, tags that help you to manage conversations in, I guess, a more controlled manner with people that you want to have conversations with. All right. I think tags are quite useful, Daniel, for bringing groups of people together who might be subject matter experts or need to be communicated to and with, without relying on them having to follow or show a channel. You know, that action where that's the way that you get a notification for the team. So tags are great for that. But till this point, they are the domain of the owner of the team. Only owners could create and manage the membership of tags. And in those large teams, large projects, large business units where you might be using tags for grouping people together and communicating with them, maybe the owner's not the best person to be managing that. It could be that you need members themselves of the team to manage membership. And so that's what this update is about. And it really does, like it suggests here, simplifies the tag permissions model. Maybe. So one take on this is we could have a tag for subject matter experts for the message center, or let's just say change management. And someone joins the team, needs to be able to be part of that tag group. Great, they can add themselves to that tag. That's a cool culture to develop. Could be misused. You know, people could maybe take themselves out of a group when they don't want those notifications. And the assumption had been made that actually we thought you were getting these messages and notifications. It seems you're not in there anymore. Any good thoughts here from the people in the audience? There we go. We've got some thoughts here. Tags are great for those larger teams where you have sub-teams. Mm-hmm. That's right. They feel like sub-teams, Phil. And quite good that you can mention them also in a chat, so it doesn't have to be a conversation in the team. You can start a side conversation that doesn't have to be part of the team.
Yeah, I feel like it is a great innovation here for teams, for working groups, to be able to do this. You do point out, hey, if I can remove myself, then yes, if some people they don't want all these emails, or they don't want all these pings, they don't want all these notifications in their activity, and so they may remove themselves, but they're going to remove themselves from important information that really they're responsible for knowing. So don't do that. You go back and watch our episode where we talk about how you can manage your activity and mute those types of notifications if you want, but at least you'll be able to see it in your team. Yeah, I think for the most part, this is a great update.
So that'll be the default behavior going forward from, where's that change happening? Rolling out late February, so that'll be soonish. That'll be the default behavior. Of course, it won't change if you've deliberately chosen something for an existing team, but new teams will allow members to create and manage membership of tags. If you don't want that kind of permission for members, you'll still have a way to switch that just back to team owners. Next message. I don't have a segue.
The next message is Teams App Setup Policy Group Assignment, MC320692. This is it's another kind of quick mention, but for those administrators or those that are managing apps and roll out in an organization, even maintain, it's not just the rollout, but this is a great next step for that. So when you're setting up an app in Teams to be pre-installed, pinned to the app bar in Teams, you're now going to be able to assign it to a group. So being able to say this group, whether it's a security group that defines a city or a distribution list that defines a working team or whatever it is, you're going to be able to use that group to pre-pin those apps for them. in Teams. And so this is rolling out mid-February, so nowish, and completed by late February. This is something that I have myself have experienced with organizations wanting and desiring, not having to input individuals. So being able to use groups, I think, is worthy of a bit of an applause.
Oh, yeah.
So definitely looking forward to it, right, Daryl?
Yeah, yeah. So much better than having just a small group of a list of people that you have to manage. It made it feel like we could only run a pilot with a policy and then, okay, now it's ready for prime time. Let's release it to everyone.
Right.
I think we were talking yesterday as planning the show, scenarios around role-based where you might be in HR and so here's the policy for the apps that are relevant to you, and location-based where you might have something that you want to publish to people at a certain location that appears in the app rail. Really good to see this. Really good.
For sure. And so next up, I think we had a to-do about a final reminder, right?
Yeah. So if you're keeping attention on what happens with Microsoft To Do and you have set yourself a to-do to update To-do, but if you haven't, you ought to, then okay.
A bit too much.
It is a bit too much. We're going too deep here. But To-do is having a change at the back-end services and MC321238. Databases and various things are changing and upgrading, and to make sure that you are still syncing your latest to-dos and updates. Make sure that you update the To-Do app across all your devices. If you don't, then after the 15th of February, then any new to-dos that you might add on your devices won't sync. So just do it now. The update's available now.
Yeah, go ahead and do it now. And if for some reason if you're on your device offloading apps, meaning if you haven't used them in a while, it could offload those apps. They don't update automatically. It's just a pointer. So if maybe you have To-Do installed, but it's been offloaded, go ahead and download it again and make sure you then go update the app in your app store so that you get the latest so you can sync everything.
That's a really good point, Daniel. I think that was your case, wasn't it? You hadn't used it much.
Yeah, not on one device. So I went and looked at it and I'm like, oh, wow, it's not there. So I need to definitely download it and update it.
So you need to be 2.6 or higher. I have my app set to just update automatically, and mine's gone to 2.63.1. So
yeah. Again,
look for that.
If it's offloaded, then even if you have your app set to update, it won't update that app. So
right.
It actually has to be on the device. This was my point. So, yep.
And and bringing it back down onto the device, will that bring down the latest version?
No, it will
No?
not.
Offloading
it
keeps
actually,
the same version.
It does, interestingly enough.
Yeah.
Because when I did that, it installed it, and then I went to the App Store and said refresh, and there was the update. So, yep.
There you go. Okay. Okay. I can't say anything fancy about this, Daniel.
I figured as much. Microsoft Office default change. Blocking VBA macros and files from the internet, MC322553. This is a security change that Microsoft is making. That will be rolling out in version 2203 of Office around early April. So what this will do is any file that you download, whether that's Word, Excel, from the internet, it's going to block VBA macros. And just know that this is from the internet, not from your local network or anything. So, if you're using VBA macros, then it should not be affected. However, I would say maybe moving away from those macros would be in your best interest in the future. There's ways of doing this with the automation tools we have, but anyway, so this is happening pretty soon. Just make sure that if you're downloading any sort of file as part of your work process from a website, then from the internet, then it will block those VBA macros if that's what you're doing. So if you have a partner or something you're working with. So simple enough, although it could be kind of complicated, but kind of a simple update.
Yeah, so. An important one.
Yes. I don't want to yammer about it, so let's move on.
This is the funny thing about Yammer as a product name, isn't it? It actually means to whine and complain. It's self-fulfilling for some, I guess. But Yammer Communities, expiring auto renewal, MC324202. We have the ability to close down groups, Office 365 groups, teams, anything related in that nature. But Yammer didn't fall into that category until this message, this update. And the good thing about this is that the auto renewal can be triggered off by just one user coming into the community, reading a message. That shows activity. Like it's in the same pattern as all the other Office 365 group related auto renewals. So it's a simple message, but it's just dealing with that expiration policy, and that if you want it to auto renew because someone starts to use it again, that's what it will be looking for. That is available now.
Yeah.
So go to all your old Yammer communities that you miss and you reminisce, and you say, oh, those were the days when we used to have great chats in here. I just want to go in, and because it's Valentine's Day, I just want to go in and just show some love to some of those old conversations. Yes, I remember that. Oh, I've auto renewed the group, the community. There you go. Next message.
Let's stay with Yammer. Yammer administrator role in Azure Active Directory, MC324459. This is all about bringing the administration into kind of that same level, same way we do administration for other services. So they'll be rolling out late June all the way through early October. So they're going to take a while. You'll see a new role in Microsoft 365 administration as a Yammer administrator. And you'll be able to grant that along with, other types of roles that you have. So simple enough here, but know that that's changing, and you're going to be able to assign it, which I think is good, bringing it in parity with other services so that you can administrate those people in the same way.
So it was managed from within Yammer beforehand,
Right.
but now you can manage that role where everyone else has roles.
All right. So another update, bringing Yammer along.
Yep.
With the management features. So,
Staying with Yammer.
Yeah, I haven't gotten enough Yammer, so let's stay with it.
All right. Admin enhancements for the new Yammer. Let's read closer. MC324460. Admin enhancements. Admins can enable the new Yammer experience for all users while being provided an opt-out option solely for admins. What does that mean to you, Daniel? What I hear here is, as an admin, I'd like to be able to make sure that new experience is available for everyone, but I don't. I want to go classic. Again, let's keep it into the reminiscing and Valentine's. I reminisce of the no, of course it's not. No, apparently it's that sometimes you do have communities and various features that are still running on classic. That as an admin, you might need to stay in that mode to be able to manage and see those things. So that's the purpose. But for everyone else, you have that ability to offer the new experience. So short update. Meet the new Yammer is the welcome that you'll see if you have that switched on. But as an admin, if you need to stay classic, you're a classic admin, then...
Well, I really think administrators, it's difficult when you switch to a new experience, whether it's a UI or new technology, when users come back and say, I used to be able to do whatever, or where is the thing?
Yep.
And being able to switch back to classic and go, was that really there? What
Yeah.
they're saying, and go back and go, oh, it is there. So maybe it's not in the new experience yet, or maybe I need to help them find where it is. So I think that it makes sense. It'll probably be around for a little while. They'll probably turn it off eventually, of course, when they dump classic, whenever that will be. But yeah, it could be helpful. I'm sure some admins are thinking, thank goodness, because I get those comments all the time, right? So hopefully this will help.
Yeah, I administer a whole lot of things. I can't remember what was in Classic. Let me go back and check. Yeah. We can get out of Yammer now?
Sure.
Yeah? Okay. Well, you take this one on announcing
Okay.
something with something.
Nice. Announcing public preview of tenant-level analytics for Power Automate (parentheses cloud flows) close parentheses MC326911. This is rolling out. Public preview will be mid-February, so nowish, and will be completed by late February. And then they will make another announcement or they'll update this post with information about general availability. So this is all about the public preview. So you can, it'll be turned off by default, so you can follow the link in the update to tell you that tells you how to turn it on. What is it, Daniel?
What is it, Daniel? What is this thing?
So this is what it says: tenant-level analytics for those flows. So you can create reports that you'll be able to filter down and discover the environments where you have flows running. You can see, flows that are not running at all, maybe haven't been used in a while, maybe orphaned ones, and be able to really get an idea on things like premium connectors, right? Which one of our flows are using premium connectors? So we can see that kind of information, and really, I feel like this is helping us really take hold of the environment and understand what's happening across the environment in an easier way. And Phil is making a comment that, this part of the center of excellence that was there, that was a kind of a gap fill. So I'm happy to see it finally coming in. And, for those that are administrating Power Automate, I think this is a great thing. Yes, it's, something that maybe should have been there for a while, but it's here now. So again,
Do you have to pay for failed?
off.
This? Yeah.
Yeah, turn off by default.
Just a question on that. Do you have to pay for failed runs?
Like errors? I don't think so.
Okay. It's just interesting to see those kind of stats.
I would think if it failed during the flow, then yes. But if it failed at the very kickoff, it just something was major wrong, then no. But I may be completely wrong. So please do not call Microsoft and say, Daniel said
we don't have to pay for our failed runs. We've got this great report now to get a refund.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
So
not
I
what
think-
we're saying.
Well, I mean, like if you have multi-steps, it's already kicked off. So you're going to have to pay for the flow, and something happens in the middle, then yeah, you're going to have to pay for it. You have to pay for when one is kicked off, when there's a trigger, right?
Right.
Something is triggered to make it happen.
Phil says yes. Phil says yes, you do have to
then
pay.
we know it's true.
Phil knows. Thank
For
you,
sure. Yes.
Phil. Authority.
So let's move right along, because I would like to talk about the experience about giving feedback.
Yes. Updated feedback experience in the message center posts. We have 2 messages today about message center improvements. MC324461. We leave feedback occasionally, Daniel. We like do a thumbs up or a thumbs down and send a comment, because we know that the product group managing the message center read those pieces of feedback and they action
Indeed.
them. And what they would like to know as you leave that feedback is, what kind of category does this fall into? So let's have a look at some of them. Thanks, we've captured your feedback. How would you describe this message? Select all that apply. This message helps me prepare for the change. Does it? I mean, if it arrived the same day or maybe after the update, that's when you might tick that one or not. This change isn't relevant to my org. I mean, I don't use that service. I don't have an E5. Why? Yeah. It feels like actually, as we're reading through these now, it should be the opposites. This message doesn't help me prepare for change. This change.
Well,
okay,
maybe this
isn't
is
relevant
for
to
you
my-
if you did the thumbs up or something.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
you know,
True.
Just know that they're going to give you those options to kind of give more.
Yeah.
You can imagine people writing stuff in that box, right? Of
Yep.
thumbs down, blah 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 blah. This will help, hopefully, if you pick the right one, categorize that feedback a little bit, so they can put it in buckets and then address them accordingly.
Like choosing a queue in an IVR system when you call up. Choose 1 for credit. Choose 2 for new accounts. Choose 3 for the rollout timeline. Doesn't help me plan because you told me about this message 2 days before it actually arrived.
Press 14 if you want to speak to a real person. Oh, you pressed 1, routing you to. Anyway.
Say voice triggered ones.
Real person.
Real person. I'm sorry. Did you say? Anyway,
Cancel my account.
that's right. Cancel.
Anyway,
You got another message center update for us, I think. Not yet.
No.
No,
You
we
do.
skipped that. All right then.
I have
Do this one.
Yes, this one is manage apps using the new apps site. Parentheses. I have some parentheses. This is nice. Messages this week. Parentheses SharePoint Online. Close parentheses. MC329484. This is really just a modernization of the app catalog. If you're familiar, you've been in SharePoint land for a while as an administrator or an app deployment specialist, then you know what the app catalog is. Most end users do not. The app catalog is the place where administrators can set up applications to be able to be deployed across SharePoint or specific sites in SharePoint. It is also where they can approve where users have gone in and they want to purchase apps through the SharePoint App Store. So this is really a modernization of that. So targeted release beginning to roll out late February and then completed by early March. Standard release mid-March through mid-April. And if you don't have one already, maybe you haven't had any apps or you're just new to Microsoft 365 and SharePoint Online, then what they're going to do is automatically, before you had to manually create this, automatically if you go to apps, if you don't have one already, they're going to create this new site for you that will be this new apps site. And really, again, it's a modernization. So you'll be able to manage it, same kind of functionality that we've had before, but I would say also look for some new features and some fancier features coming our way. So
All this moving away from classic.
Yep.
I just,
yeah. Well,
little
and
sad.
this also gives us that I think it brings us to a point where we can manage those SPFX solutions. Because if you remember, there's kind of this teams in SharePoint are special friends, and they have been friends since childhood, and they know each other's secrets.
all right.
Everything. But
How's this relate to
we're
FPX?
Well, because we are getting this kind of marrying where we have templates that are going to, we're going to have these ability to roll out teams in SharePoint using those connected templates we've talked about on the show, but also being able to have apps that we can deploy to SharePoint and Teams. So this is really giving us more capabilities. We're going to get that with this app site as we move down the road as well. So
Right.
It's not just a make it look better kind of
Right.
update.
Right.
All right, so we have, and we're on the home stretch here, the Message Center email notifications.
Yeah. Yeah, so this one is about all the emails that you get about these updates, these major updates. They do like to make sure that admins and people with the message center role do get told about these updates. And in message MC329435, you can have a bit more control over the default behavior of whether you receive those messages or not in email. Some admins get a lot of email. That's an understatement. And maybe they don't want these major update messages coming in from the message center. They've been able to opt out manually, but this deals with a default behavior. New admin joins, they get a 4-week trial of what it's like to receive messages from the message center telling them when things are arriving. And if they want to continue receiving messages, they'll need to go in, opt in to keep them flowing. If not, then it will stop. It won't change your behavior if you have customized how you would like to receive those messages already, or if you have accepted the defaults. It's kind of not clear this part, Daniel, but I think it may switch over to this 4-week trial and then turn it off.
It's for sure. If it says if any admins have not customized their preferences or take action, which is go in and say, yes, I want to receive these by April 1st, then you will not continue to receive the notifications.
So a little preview there of that preferences that you can set. You don't have to receive everything. Maybe you're just responsible for a certain suite of products within the portfolio of your program of the M365. Basic mobility and security, for example. So turn everything else off, and that's considered customized.
Well, and I think this update is a lot for organizations as well that already have a process to handle messages. Maybe you're syncing it to Planner or whatever, and you or taking messages and throwing them in Teams, to get those updates, and they don't want to also receive the emails. So if that's the case, then they're going to automatically do this for you.
We have one more. It's a last. Whoa, hang on, this just arrived. We'll leave that till next week.
Yes,
Stream in player help experience.
Next week, people.
Next week. But just that last one was just, we mentioned that there wasn't a message for this one a couple of weeks back, chat density. We saw it come through as a blog post and a tweet. And there's the message going into a bit more detail about changing the density of your chat. How dense is your chat? How dense is your chat? How dense is your chat? That's enough of that. How dense is your chat? All right, we're at time.
We definitely are.
Enough of the bad rhymes.
Whew. Wow.
Yeah. But thank you for joining us. You know what to do to keep up to date with changes. Follow us. Follow everyone else. But follow us. Subscribe. That's right. Follow all the 365 MCS places that we tweet, we message, we repost. Tune into that podcast if you really want a double dose helping of, and if you're listening to us via the podcast, then that's cool too. Do we want comments and thumbs up and all those sorts of things as well?
All of those things, so make sure you do that. People, thank you for joining us this week. We had a lot to cover, and I think
managed it.
And I hope, I think we managed it, and I hope that you found great value. Share the podcast on the socials with your friends. Please let us, and then let us know what you think. Thank you so much, everyone.
All right. Bye-bye.